In this video, I will tell you about the from snap option, and this from snap option may look a little bit intimidating to you in the beginning, but with practice you can use it in a variety of situations and it will really be helpful in improving your productivity. So here we have a simple geometry. Now in this case, the length of this drawing is 10 units. The height is 10 units. We have this of 5 unit, 5 unit, and the remaining length of this slant line. Now let's assume that we want to make a circle somewhere over here, and we want to take the center of this circle in a predefined way. Now we want the center of this circle to be exactly at a distance of 10 units from the midpoint of this line, and that line, the 10 unit line, should be inclined to an angle of 30 degrees. Now for that, obviously we can make a line here. So we can start a line from the midpoint. We can make it of length 10 units and we can incline it to an angle which is required. So let's say either 30 or 45, we can do that. And then we can make the circle at its endpoint. So that's one way of doing that. But there is also an alternate method, which is from snap, which does not require you to make any helping line. Now to do that, I'll select the circle tool directly. And now press and hold Shift key. Then right click and select this from option. Now we need to specify the base point. So here you can see that we have a base point option. From base point, we need to specify that. So we need this base point here, the midpoint. Now we need to specify the exact location of that point. So in our case, the point is located at a distance of 10 units and it is inclined to an angle of 30 degrees. And now press enter. And here we have it, the exact point. So now you can enter the radius directly. So let's say that the radius will be 5, press enter. Now let's verify the results. For that, I'll select the line tool. I'll click at this midpoint and I'll join it with the midpoint. Now we need to check two different things. We need to check whether the length of this line is 10 units or not, and also the angle which this line is making with respect to the x-axis is 30 degrees or not. And we can do that directly with a single command, which is di, distance, and we'll learn about these inquiry tools later on in this course. So I'll select this command. Now click at the first point and the second point, and now here we have this. The distance is obviously 10 unit. Let's expand this a little bit to see it more clearly. The distance is 10 unit for this line, and the angle in XY plane is 30 degrees. So obviously our results are accurate. So in this way, you can use from snap to make these kind of geometries quite quickly. So let's repeat this process, but this time instead of making the circle here, I'll make the circle somewhere inside this geometry. So once again, let's assume that we want to make a circle on this side, and in this case we want the distance to be equal to 3 units from this point, or let's make it 5 units from the midpoint, and it should be in this direction, and the angle which it should make with respect to the x-axis should be 235 degrees. So for that, I'll select the circle tool and once again press and hold Shift key, then right click, select the from snap option. Now click on this midpoint, and now obviously we need to specify the exact location of that center point, which is at a distance of 5 units. So I'll type at and then distance. We are entering at because we are using the relative coordinate system, and in relative coordinate system we have already selected this point as the origin, so we are entering the end point with respect to this origin. So now the distance is 5 and we need to enter the angle, which is 235 in this case. Now press enter and we have our midpoint. Now only we need to enter the radius, which is 2 in this case. Press enter. Here we have the geometry. So without taking any reference of any line or any other geometry, we can make these kind of geometries quite quickly using the from snap tool.